episode is going to be your best and your favorite guest, Rita Wirtz. Then we'll go ahead and start the intro. And here we go. Show number 4, Rita Wirtz. All right, there we go. Let me just go ahead and share my screen and give the applause. Today's show, like we said, do we really know? Rita Wirtz, here she is, all the way from Eugene, Oregon. Let's bring her out. She's been waiting. It's been 4 weeks. Rita Wirtz is in the house. Welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Omar. I'm just waiting to give you some zingers back.
Absolutely. We are excited. We are live, and we have today the wonderful Rita Wirtz. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to be grilled?
I'm as nervous as I could be what you're going to ask. And these guys don't know. We've done 4 events together. So he knows me way too well. I don't know what he's going to ask me. I'm a little nervous.
And we already have some audience here. Number 4,
everybody.
whatever that means. And we also have Camille. All right, here we go.
Hello.
Okay. So first slide that I have here is actually showing a map. So we were in England. We went to India. Now we are back in the States with Eugene. Here we go. Question 1, which is a very simple one. What city did you live in? Which we probably answered that. And then you could probably tell us where you also lived before. So I know right now you're in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
What states have you lived in before?
Oh, boy. I was born in Muskegon, Michigan. I'm a Michigander. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. I taught school originally in Phoenix and then in Colorado and then in California. And then after I lost my husband, I finally moved to Eugene, Oregon, where my other kids were. I have a number of kids I raised, but our daughter is here in Eugene. So I finally moved here.
Awesome.
I love it.
4 states. You lived in 4 states.
Well, I probably lived in more, but
more.
Yeah,
but we can actually count.
Yeah, I'll take those.
You take 4. 4 is your final answer. Okay.
Okay, 4, or I'm putting my puppets on. If I have to get my puppets out, then you know I didn't like the question.
Okay.
I do have Charlotte's Web waiting.
That's awesome. I think you're the first guest who actually has puppets. I like that.
Well, I got a lot of puppets. I just don't know that you're going to get blessed with them this morning. Another day we might do a puppet show.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love that. You passed the first question.
Yes,
Let's
I
move
did.
on to the next question.
Okay. I'm on 2.
Here we go. Okay. What was one thing you enjoyed about teaching? What did you enjoy about teaching?
The puppets.
Puppets?
No, I'm a kook. I have been known to tell everybody that I'm a nut. I ride in the weird lane. I've always been different. I think we need to dare to be different. I believe that same is good, but same doesn't serve me well anyway. I've always been a maverick and a trailblazer, and I used to get in trouble a lot when I was a principal because I'd do stuff with the staff and then ask afterward or get in trouble afterward. So I've always felt that, we talk about, or what I've heard all of my life was you're always ahead of the system. Well, the system never caught up with me. So I figure I'm running out of time. What time I have left in my life, I've always been a servant leader, and I take what I do very seriously to help everybody I can as long as I can, literally to my last breath. Everything about teaching is great to me. I've been teaching almost all my life, one level or another. I've taught with teachers in about 600 classrooms with their students, ranging from pre through adult, special needs. I don't like labels, but I've taught with everybody everywhere, parents, colleges, you name it. What do I love best about teaching? Teaching. When I teach, I learn. And the one thing that I've learned this year from all the blogs that I've done, and in particular the ones this year, the one that really got me most was Steve Jobs when I wrote about just make the ask. So the one thing that I most enjoyed about teaching would be learning from others. And whether that was children or colleagues or other educators around the world and around the United States when I was in their classrooms, what I enjoyed the most was learning from others.
Absolutely. I see you're so passionate about teaching and
I'm
education.
passionate. Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness.
I think we all are. I mean, I have
Yeah,
a little bit of that in tutoring and teaching, and
yeah.
every teacher I talk to has passion because it's all about the kids, right?
It's
We want the kids
always
to
about
be
the children and the other teachers, because I truly believe, having co-taught with Aziz Subai, the director of Everyone Academy in Morocco, we did 10 webinars. I've done with so many teachers around the world, Global Teachers Club, etc. I just feel strongly that when we co-teach and that when we're in others' classrooms, and while I was a school principal, I didn't hang in the office. I just ran around the campus so they couldn't find me. And that was what was joyous, was teaching with other teachers. That's all I've ever done. When you open your heart and your mind to what others know and can teach us, then it's a dynamic duo, trio, or team. But the culture has to be one of continuous learning. And I'm the first to know and to say, I don't know how to do this. Would you please teach me? And that's what teachers need to do, because without a culture of continuous learning and the idea, what I enjoy most, if we don't teach together and learn from each other, then we're shortchanging ourselves. And we also add more stress to our life by adding others into our small group of colleagues and friends. We really do justice more to them, but to ourselves for our growth and transformation.
excellent. Beautifully said, Rita. Absolutely. I think I'm ready for the next question. You passed that one too. Check.
Okay,
Excellent.
you,
Here we
you
go.
three, I'm ready.
Question three. Here we go. Okay. What do you do in your spare time? I think we talked about this off air, but you do a lot of things. You're very active.
um, well, in my spare time, I don't know what spare time is. Ouch, man. I That's a growth area. I do take tango lessons on Sunday afternoon, which is not going all that well, but I'm still working at it. It doesn't come natural. I do like to go to live music. I read all the time. I do Pilates and stretch. I check in with friends. But the reality is, I don't do enough in spare time because honestly, I work almost all the time. And so that's a growth area. It's not one that I want others to do like me. I'm not asking you to do like me, but you wouldn't want to know how many hours a day and during the week I work. The rest of the time, if I'm not writing, creating curriculum, etc., then I'm studying. I really am a geek. I'm a nerd, and I'm a weird nerd at that, and I'm proud of it. It served me well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
I
spare time, I get an F on number 3.
love
It's not enough spare time, but when I do have spare time, I read. I might put Netflix on, and bottom line is I get an F on 3.
That's awesome. Well, we all, I think, need some time to read all the time. We tend to read for a bit, and then we go back to
Yes,
our social media and our phones and stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, reading is something that we need to implement. I implemented that more and more throughout
yes.
the months, and so absolutely. Let's go to the next question. All right,
So
here we
3, mixed
go.
review on that one. I can't claim to fame on number 3.
Your name, Warts. What's the origin of
Oh,
it?
words. My goodness, I married that name. When I married William, and when I first heard his name, Word, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be in trouble with that one. So I've used it. Words is a bossy R. So ARERIRORUR. So when I would be in the classroom, whether it was kindergarten or high school, I'd make fun of myself with words because people would say warts or WR. Nobody could ever spell words. So uh,
Yeah,
even after I lost my husband, I kept the name Wirtz, and then automatically I'll say, hello, my name is Rita Wirtz, WIRTZ, because no one can ever spell it or say it right, and I don't want them to be embarrassed. The origin is actually German. My husband was of German ancestry, and Wirtz is a very common name, only nobody ever spells it right. But that's really me, so I want to pass on that one.
awesome. I like. I thought it was German. Yeah, I've heard that name
It
before.
is
It's
German.
a common name,
Yes.
so that's awesome, right? And Guess who's watching? Mr. Omar. Wow. He's on
Woo!
here too. That's amazing. He can multitask. Okay. Next question here. Let's go on. All right.
Little Eugene
Okay.
allergy.
If you can travel to outer space, what planet would you like to visit?
Okay, I want to pass on this one. So let me think. Um,
So when I come to this one, I always come to that show, the Magic School Bus or the book series. You remember reading the Magic School Bus, right?
yeah,
And I've always
right.
loved the book where they go to space and they go to the planets, each one, and they made a show about it. And I can always remember that. When I was younger, my grandfather had the book, and we would read that book together. And so he encouraged reading. And so from that, I always am an outer space kind of person, but not really an outer space person, Rita.
Ah, all right. So then I can get past on this one. I just say that I would like to have been there with the guys on Lost in Space, or oh, I'd like to have been Allura on Star Trek. Does that count as a pass?
I guess so. Yes, we can do that.
All right,
That
take
works.
go, 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 go. I'm
Next,
gonna
next,
take
let's go on. All
go.
right. Okay, tell
Oh my
us your
God.
most embarrassing
Oh
story.
my goodness. Oh my God. I have 1,000 of my most embarrassing stories.
We only need
Oh my
one. One is
goodness.
enough. One is enough. I mean,
Oh,
we do have about 20
okay.
minutes.
All right. Okay. Well, one of my most embarrassing stories. I was working, oh goodness. I was working in a school down in Southern California, and the school had just been remodeled and put new carpets in the classroom. I never thought the carpets in the classroom was a really smart thing in elementary, having been elementary principal. But having taught high school and adults and preschool and every level, I can go with it because there's a lot of embarrassing stories. But this one, I'm almost embarrassed to tell. But here's what I did. I decided to do a lesson with Oobleck in that class, and it was from Bartholomew and the Oobleck. Well, I brought in all the Oobleck stuff, and it spilled and it got all over in the new carpet in the classroom. So the teacher was less than happy with me. So that was one. I probably have 1,000. In fact, I've been thinking about writing one of my blogs. Maybe number 205 will be about my embarrassing stories, because I was thinking about that the other day. That we tend to think that we can't do new things because if we take a risk, we might bomb, we might blow it, and we don't have the nerve to do it. That's been my whole life, has been being a maverick, a trailblazer, a risk taker. And I think the most embarrassing things happened to me while I was a principal, because I would just think, well, let's do this. For example, for a staff development day, I decided to take the staff bowling. So that was pretty embarrassing when I got called into the superintendent. And he said, did you ask me if you could take them off campus? No. Well, why didn't you? Because I knew if I asked you, you'd say no. So I have one after another. My whole career has been one embarrassing story because I take enormous risks all the time. I get in way over my head, and then I figure out what I can do to make it work out. Because if I don't take these giant leaps of faith, then how can I model for others to do it? So I've been doing this my whole life, my whole career. It's just one embarrassing story after another. But now I know maybe when we're done today, I'll just turn around and write a blog about it, because I couldn't tell you in 1 minute. But the one with the carpet really stood out because I probably wrecked the classroom carpet that day. We couldn't get it out. You can't get more embarrassing than that. I want to pass for that one. A plus.
That's a good one. Yeah, we all have embarrassing stories, definitely. And then writing a book or blog would be something very interesting to
I
read
think I
about.
will.
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
I think I'm going to switch. I was writing about things that funny things kids say today. I also wanted to write about seasonal disorder, where people. Well, I love when I'm looking out the window today and seeing the dreary Eugene. I'm so thrilled to get some rain and stuff, but not everybody feels great in the fall and winter. So, with mental health as a huge issue, that's also on my radar to write about that. But I'll see what happens today. What I feel like writing, and if I can make it my tango class after your embarrassing questions you're asking, because that's pretty
Maybe
embarrassing.
next
I
time we're gonna go with your tango class, and we're gonna
oh,
do a lot.
you want to know
Five,
embarrassing? My tango
five.
class. That's embarrassing. I want an A plus on this one.
Okay, perfect. Next one. Here we go.
Okay.
Couple more. We're almost done. Okay. Okay. If I had the ticket tomorrow, I would fly. Where?
Hmm.
Where would you fly?
I would fly back to California to see family and friends that I haven't seen for a while.
California,
Definitely.
okay. Where
Yeah.
exactly? Different places or just?
Yeah, you had to ask, didn't you? Where?
We have the shout out. They're watching.
Ah, where would I fly? I actually have enough air miles. I just haven't, the truth of this, what people don't know is for many years, I flew almost every day. So what I did was I taught university courses Monday night. So I taught school administration in the bilingual cohort for Sac State for many years. For Chapman and National in California, I taught all the school credential courses for teachers, mostly the reading. My area is reading, so I taught all the reading credential courses. So when I look at all that, and I think that I did that on Monday nights, and then I traveled Tuesday to Thursday or Tuesday to Friday for many years. One week I taught for seminar companies, a seminar a day across the country. That was insanity. And I did that for years. And then the next week I flipped it and I did my private work where I was in school districts. And that meant I'd start with a keynote. And then I went in almost every classroom that I could get in that district teaching with teachers. So I flew so much and lived in hotels for a number of years. And beside that, my husband and I finally did some pleasure travel. It was mostly eco tour stuff before eco tours. So William and I flew constantly. So I lived on a plane for many years. So the idea of flying right now is less than exciting. I did get my fast pass again, but my first trip I need to make right now since COVID is really to go back and see family and friends that I haven't seen for a while.
Awesome. I like that. Definitely. That's something I would like to do too as well. And I believe we have one more question here. We
What
made
do I
it.
get? I got an A on that one too, didn't I? I'm all
Yeah,
right.
yes, you did.
See,
Perfect.
that's
If
the
I had
teacher.
no internet, I would do what? What would
I
you do if you had no internet for the day?
For today,
For one day?
one day, just read all day. Just
Read.
read,
Yeah.
rest, go to the river. I live pretty close to a river, the Willamette River in Eugene, and I like to sit by the river. What I didn't tell you for spare time, what I really do love to do living in Oregon is go to the coast. So every couple of months, we definitely take family trips and hang out at the Oregon coast because it is extremely glorious. Oregon's a beautiful state. I'm still getting to know it.
I'm sure it is, yeah. And I know some family or some friends from who are there living there,
Yeah.
and they say it's beautiful. A lot of trees and all that in
Yeah.
Oregon, definitely.
I love to walk and do very, very mild hikes in Oregon. It's a beautiful state to be in. So if I had no internet for the day right now, it would be okay. Like I said, I would mostly just read for a day and do nothing. For my
Absolutely.
spare time question, let's just say that there are times when I just really enjoy doing nothing because that's not my nature. I'm always busy. I'm always writing. I'm always working, and as a servant leader, that's what I do. That's how I identify myself. Is about giving from my head, my heart, my soul, as long as I possibly can till my last breath. I'm a teacher, and we're all teachers one way or another. And especially right now, with reading being where it is, the children all need us. So without an internet for a day, I don't know. I would stay with that. I would read, or if I could, I'd just get in the car and run over to the coast. We're only 45 minutes from Florence from here. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, a lot of us can't think of that. Like, if the internet went
yeah,
out, what would we do? Would we panic? Would we? Because a lot of would. They would go to a Starbucks or go someplace. But then we need to
no,
realize that
no,
20, 30 years ago, that wasn't the case. Our
no,
parents and all that. And we'd go to the beach, we read books and stuff
I
like
know.
that, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, that's something that we can definitely consider. So, good one.
But
I,
Omar, something you don't know, considering we've done 4 events together and a
yeah,
zillion hours in between.
yeah.
What you don't know is when I moved from California after I lost William, I did nothing on the internet. In fact, living in the mountains after William retired and we moved out to the mountains in the middle of nowhere, I couldn't even really get internet.
Mm,
So I wasn't on any social media. And I moved from California to Eugene with a track phone from Walmart. I
uh,
knew nothing. So when I do get upset with myself that I don't have all the tech skills that I wish I had, and I keep upskilling like crazy, the bottom line is sometimes I have to stop and give myself grace for what I have learned as quickly as I've learned. And we all learned it at different paces. and think we all have different interests in what we're good at. And that wasn't my top, let's just say that wasn't my top thing. So I've really done well, I think, learning how to do it. So for me, actually, going without internet is really okay, because that's how most of my life was up until this. Well, I was always online, but I mean, different. It was different than what it is, Then we used discs and stuff when we were starting. So it's a whole different world.
Absolutely. Actually, there is one more question that I was looking through these, and it's an easy one. It's not too
You
bad.
better give me these one. These have been
Uh,
okay except for the planet one. God, I'm not into flying to another planet.
if I would invent, what would you invent to help mankind? And I'm sure you can talk a lot about this from your education perspective and all that. Any invention or something that would help mankind that you can think of?
You got me on that. I don't know about an invention. We've got so many inventions. I'm working on learning AI right now.
Yeah,
So I don't think I need another invention. What we need is more kindness. And
kindness.
we need more gentleness and more grace. I'm not into another invention right now. That's been plenty done.
Oh,
And
you're right. Yeah,
when Steve
absolutely.
Jobs called Bill Packard at age 12,
Yeah,
and the rest was history. We've got brilliant people out there, including you, that are very tech savvy, that are inventing like crazy. Every minute of the day is
yeah,
about keeping up with what inventions are, what changes are already there. Change is the only constant. And the only one who really likes change, in my opinion, is a wet baby.
yeah,
So that means that we're always keeping up. We have to keep continuous learning in our cultural, in our organizations, whether it's schoolhouse or business or home. We're all in this together, and we have to teach one another right now. So I don't think personally, I don't have the need for another invention. What I have the need is to see people be more kind to one another, give more grace, be more helpful, be more honest, more genuine. And I know it sounds corny, but I'm all about love. That
yeah.
we need more love in the world. So the only invention I would probably make is a time machine to take us back to a simpler time when I was a kid, when we didn't have all the internet and everything. And how you knew when it was time to go home at night is when it turned dark, or mom called, or somebody called you in.
Yeah.
So I think the inventions that we've had are great, certainly, but I don't have a Lexus. I don't have a lot of high tech stuff like that. It doesn't serve a need for me. I can use an old digital clock and I'm happy. That doesn't mean that I'm not into what's happening. I'm very much into my upskilling, as I've said, but for me, not another invention. To answer that question, I got to go back to the love and kindness, in that we need to just take care of each other right now. There are people hurting. And unless we come up to somebody and we observe closely, we listen with intention, okay? And then we see what we can do to help that person through either just listening or seeing what other genuine help they need. That to me is way better than the thought of another invention. That's all taken care of. What I give to others is the fact that I'm here for you. Tell me what you need and I'll see what I can do to help you. And if nothing else, here's my shoulder. I'm here for you. I get it.
Beautiful. I like that. Yeah, we definitely need more love and more support for each other. That's definitely a good answer. I like that. Well, yeah, there's a lot of inventions out there, and maybe there's an invention that can make cure kindness or make somehow war disappear and something like that. That would be an awesome thing to have. But we
Yeah,
need,
we're not talking about curing medical research, certainly inventions, of course, and anybody could cure cancer,
yeah,
any kind of inventions like that. That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about that the world has gone so
yeah,
fast, and that I'm just real concerned that kids aren't reading when, you hit the fact that they've got so many inventions, so much screen time, TikTok, everything else. And I'm as guilty as everybody. I'm on about 5 platforms right
yeah,
now. But the bottom line is that's not what makes my life. What makes my life is my relationships with family, my friends, my colleagues, and anybody who thinks that we're not close. Those of us who hang out together on LinkedIn, especially. I love LinkedIn. Since last year, it's been a life changer. After being on Twitter X, and I still got about 18,000 followers on Twitter, but it's not the same. When I came to LinkedIn last year, this has just been mind blowing to me. And if I wanted to see an invention, I just have to flip through LinkedIn, and there's just one after another. But what I don't see all the time is that love and kindness and generosity. Although I really do see more on LinkedIn than I've seen in a long time. Am I getting
Absolutely.
some questions
Yeah.
here?
It's just
I'm just so
Supriya's
happy
here.
to be with you because, to ride in the weird lane with me. And I'm still thinking about Dr. Supriya's answer with you. I have thought about this over and over when she talked about pranks because I am the worst about doing pranks and being obnoxious to people with my silly jokes and stuff that I do. So we didn't even get into any of my real weird stuff like hypnosis and stuff. So that's another conversation because you didn't know that I'm a hypnotist.
Well, we have 5 minutes to go. This is the part of you,
Good.
Rita, where you go
I
ahead and
answered
tell
your
us in
questions.
3 minutes or less about you, about your any secrets you wanted to reveal to us, to the world. And this is where you have 3 minutes before we close the show. It is
Ah,
30 minutes. We are at the 26 mark coming up here. Go ahead, Rita. This is your time. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the questions here. And I'm glad
oh.
you made it to the hot seat. Okay, this is the part of the show where you tell us about yourself, Rita, and how you help others, which you already gave us a lot of information already. So,
um, I don't have anything left to say. No, I think one of the most fun things that I did was learn hypnosis. Honestly, I did not get my doctorate. I had a BA in English and speech, and a master's, and a reading specialist, and administrative credential. I had a lot of stuff. But when it was time to get my doctorate, I had 4 children at home, and I was a school principal then. I was very dedicated to what we did. We. It's never about me. It's we. But we got that school turned around into an extraordinary place where people visited literally from around the world. So I've always felt that I should have probably gotten my doctorate, but I didn't. Instead, I got certified during that period in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, which is about peak performance. What you don't know is I've spent almost my whole career working with champions. I had things that didn't happen. I was supposed to write a reading program for the U.S. Olympic Committee, and it didn't get funded. I had other things that happened like that. But my whole life has been about working with champions. My first original book was Reading Champions, Teaching Mating Read Easy, and then Reading Champs and Reading Champions again. So by watching what champions do, I've spent my life helping others recreate those situations that we can put ourselves in for excellence. So whether it's me doing a keynote or being in a position as the curriculum coordinator for the county office, or being a principal or program evaluator in the prison system, which you didn't know that either. I met Leslie Van Houten. I walked the line to DVA, and I was in San Quentin in cell study.
oh
I've
wow!
had a crazy, crazy career. And what made it was because I took one risk after another in my search for how to create championship schools, champion teachers, and champion children, in particular, the kid at the back that nobody thought had it. So the last thing I would say, I think you know how I feel about neurodiversity and the notion that we label people anyway. So my parting shot would be this: I want to get rid of words like failure, struggling, uh, anything where we feel that nobody has the capability to do a certain thing. I believe that everybody has giftedness, in particular the kid at the back. And the one that we think of all the time with me is the kid who was in such trouble when I started work with him. All the students that I taught in university courses all tutored, and I did too. And when I started work with this kid, it was hopeless. And that child went on to become a UC graduate with honors, and then he went on to become a space scientist for Mr. Musk before Mr. Musk bought Twitter.
That's awesome.
SpaceX. So I wrote a book about him. It is out of print now, but the bottom line is this: the
Yeah.
children at the back, the kids at the back, as I call them, are the ones that we don't know what to do with, and they're generally absolutely brilliant. But we have to get through the acting out behaviors and the things that they've had to do, because doing pencil paper work or even computer work that doesn't make sense to them because they see it, they just intuit it. And dyslexia very often is a gift, the ability to see things differently than we do. So that would be my message today. that my life has been one of service, and literally until my last breath, I intend to keep doing what I'm doing, whether it's as a position with someone right now, a change for me, or whether it's through contracting and doing keynotes and seminars like I've been doing. I'm here to serve. I'm here for you. I love being with you and being here. And for everybody watching this today, please don't think I'm that much of a kook, but yeah, I really am. So follow me and enjoy my posts, and please connect with me. And I would love to hear from you. I'm here for
Awesome.
you.
Perfect, Rita. I like that. We're going to go ahead and end the show here in a bit. I'll put you in the breakout room, do some closing remarks, and then bring you back. I want to thank you for being my guest for episode number 4. You've been great. And I'll talk to you in a bit.
You.
Let me just put you there. One moment. And that was Rita Wirtz, one of the greatest in Eugene, Oregon, educator, has many things going, books and all that. We learned a lot from her. Next week, we're gonna have the great Don Cohen. He's gonna be on the show. I've been on the show many times, and he agreed to be on this for the first show of October Sunday. That also, we're gonna be taping Zumberty. We're gonna be taping them, and then we'll be uploading those shows pretty soon. And look forward to that. And I want to thank you guys again for making it for this episode again of Do We Really Know. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Remember to read something, something that will benefit you today, and eat something healthy like apples. Enjoy your day and take care. Bye bye.